Okay, this is going to be a little different kind of a video here. You know, from time to time we like to throw things out there that come from a unique perspective. And today I'm going to talk about cocaine, God, and me. Hi, I'm David Essel. Now, most of the time when people think of cocaine abuse and cocaine addiction, you don't think of someone talking about it from a God perspective. But I'm going to talk about cocaine, my cocaine use, and so many people that I've worked with over the years, the connection between the use of cocaine and God, and then the recovery and the further connection with God. You know, cocaine, if you've never done it, I don't recommend that you start. Let me say that right now as a disclaimer. If you're currently using it, I'm going to ask you to work with someone like myself to get clean. It's as many of my friends have said over the years that I used to use it for. Used to party with cocaine with. It's a debit card, man. It's an absolute debit card. It takes everything from you. It gives nothing back, and that is the truth. And I say that, however, I want to offer a little different perspective here. In the use of cocaine, many of us feel ultimately connected to God, that we are all powerful, that we are the manifestors of this world, that we are limitless, that anything that we create in our brains while we're on cocaine, we can create and manifest in the real world. It is God's stuff. I swear to God to you. It is union with the divine. And many people who are addicts will look at this and say, oh my God, he is so right. And many people who have no idea about what cocaine does to the brain and to the emotional nervous system will look at me like I'm absolutely insane. And many of you who maybe are watching this and you work in the world of recovery will hate the fact that I'm talking like this. But I honestly don't give a damn. I really don't, because it is the truth. And I'm in recovery for it. And I will tell you, I would not recommend anyone to start it. But let me say this to you. When you're using cocaine, you feel so euphoric. Why do you think it's so incredibly addictive? Why do you think so many people will kill for it? It's because it brings you to that sense of limitlessness. Many times on cocaine, we'll go into conversation with people about creating. I remember myself used to talk about writing all these, way before I wrote books, writing all these books and doing all this incredible work around the world. I mean, we got into these incredibly intense conversations based on our potential in life. And when I was the highest, before I was trying to come down on a nightly basis from using cocaine as an addict that I will tell you that I felt divine-like. I felt the union of God. I felt, and I'll go back to that word, limitless. It is an unbelievably euphoric high, an incredibly euphoric high. And while it sounds like right now I'm sort of blessing the use of cocaine, I'm not. I'm just speaking out of fact, you know. And I remember in the early 90s, I was hosting a national radio show. I interviewed Deepak Chopra, and he was talking on there about, you know, he said something really miraculous. And this is before I quit cocaine, as a matter of fact. And he said, you know, David, anything that you can produce with an outside substance, you can produce it within yourself, by yourself. And I remember listening to him I was thinking directly of cocaine at that time, going, that's insane. It sounds nice, you know. But then he went on to explain to me the lock and key theory of addiction, where there's a chemical in the brain that needs a lock, and it's a lock and key formula. So you need something to unlock that euphoric feeling. So as we were talking, and I brought up the whole concept about drugs and alcohol and cocaine, and he said, you know, that's where we look at like the use of a roller coaster, where some people will get really high on drugs and other people with roller coasters are skydiving or diving or some type of extreme sport, right? They're releasing this unbelievable chemical in the brain. And then he blew my mind when he asked me if I meditate, and I said absolutely. And he goes, you can use meditation as a way to unlock that euphoric feeling. And when he said that, I go, oh my God, it's so true. When I go into a deep meditation and I come out of it, I feel one with the divine. I feel one with God. I feel unbelievably at peace with the divine right then. Now, with cocaine, the feeling was different for me. But I will tell you this, I'm going to go into the downside of it now. The downside of it was unbelievably horrendous. The days recovering from my binges, the money spent, I don't know how much money spent, you know, the lies, the chasing of it, you know, the finding someone to buy it from and then they didn't show up, and then, you know, being nervous and anxious that they weren't going to show up ever. And I tell you, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've ever been chasing drugs, you know what I'm talking about. It's exhausting. And then covering it up, making sure that whoever you're with, if you're dating, if you're married, and they're not into it, that you find ways to cover it up. And then coming down from the high, trying to find other drugs and alcohol to bring you down. It's an absolute nightmare. And at the same time, I want to tell you this, is that was my first true experience with God. Since that time, and I've been clean for a long time now, since that time I've experienced God in so many ways. I've experienced that limitlessness in so many healthy ways without any substances whatsoever. And it's possible. When someone says, you know, you're once an addict, always an addict, I say bullshit. You know, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, bullshit. If you want to get clean and if you follow an awesome path, you can be clean and experience all those highs that you did with any drug in the world whatsoever without any of the ramifications. If I can help you right now in regards to getting clean, I've been helping people for 20 years. Visit us at talkdavid.com, talkdavid.com. Share this with friends of yours that might be addicted to alcohol, drugs, Roxy's, Oxys, anything whatsoever, cocaine, because we can help them as well. And then don't forget to sign up at Super Slowdown. You know, and know that you can experience that divine feeling, that rush that you get with any substance whatsoever on your own, because you are limitless. I'm David Essel.